Hello everybody, and this is Lunaris Aileron coming for more early impression of Winter 2019 anime. And for the next one, I'm gonna talk about Koya no Kotobuki Hikotai, or for some reason the English title is called The Magnificent Kotobuki. I just talked about Girly Air Force in my last video, my other video previously, and strangely enough, this season also has another aircraft-centric anime, but instead of modern fighters, these are more like World War II fighters, but located in a fictional setting, and where the main characters use Hayabusa, and there are a bunch of other aircrafts. So far, I think there has been only a bunch of Japanese World War II fighters like Suisan, Raiden, and a bunch of other. But I expected that there will be more soon, and I have just watched the fourth episode just now, and it was very exciting. I really like it. I'm personally really glad that the two aircraft centric anime is actually really good, or maybe I feel that it is good for me because I am quite a fan of the aviation technology, and especially dogfights and aircraft. But I think Koya no Kotobuki has lots of merit to it that I think normal viewers can appreciate. But first, I want to address the elephant in the room. This anime use hybrid 3D CG and 2D animation. The main characters, because they are the most prominent in the anime, they use 3D CG models, and most of the side characters are drawn manually. It is very uncanny, especially because these characters interact a lot, has lots of dialogues with each other, and very often that the 3D CG and the manually drawn characters are in the same shot, so it will be very obvious. And this is not the kind of high quality 3D CG models like in Bandori Season 2 and Monster Strike and other recent 3D anime. The 3D CG model they use are pretty cheap, and it's very noticeable, especially during shots that where you can see the shading of on their bodies. But my point is that yes, you have to kinda ignore that. I personally think it's not a big deal, but I understand if people think that the scenes are ugly because it is uncanny in general. And if you saw screenshots of it, you might notice it. But personally, I think the merit of this anime outweigh the visual weakness it has. Let me present my reasoning. Firstly, it's because this anime has a good pacing, good dialogues, good action. During the dogfights, it has good tension, good music. It is very pulse pounding action, you know. The thing about dogfight is that you can spend a lot of time with the aircraft doing maneuvers and circling each other and build up tension slowly, but rising tension, you know. And then this I'm this is unscripted, but I have lots of praise for the design of the action scenes in this anime. The first aspect is the dogfight is pretty realistic. If you have some knowledge in dogfighting, you can see that they perform various air maneuvers and how the characters analyzes the different in the oh my god, what is that sound? And you can see that the characters analyzes the weakness and advantage of the different fighters and how they approach it. and how they use the difference in maneuverability, the speed, and the rate of climbing, and it is shown in the fighting in the dog fighting scene how these are how the writers and the people who coordinate the action scenes considered all these aspects. And for me, it is quite a treat. I think people who is who came in blind might not appreciate it as much, but I still think if you don't have any knowledge in dogfight, I think you can appreciate the how the writers create tension and how the actions feels very intense. The second thing I want to note is that this anime has great sound design. It is very clear that the sound designer went through a lot of things, has considered a lot of how the metal clanking, the bullet hitting the aircraft frame, and how the everything is rustling, the cockpit the rustling, the sound of air whooshing. There is a lot of sound to be appreciate in this anime during especially during any flying scenes that I personally really love. So when there are many scenes where it is pretty silent, you can only hear air whooshing or the aircraft doing barrel roll and stuff, and then the machine gun has lots of good sound. The machine gun fired, and then it hit the frame, and then there is this clanking noise. Ping! It is pretty amusing. It's pretty. Sometimes the sound balance like it's like surprises me. Like I was watching this very intensely, and then the shot hit the wing, and then there is clang. It really adds up to the it really give the atmosphere, provide the atmosphere of the dogfight. Makes it feel really intense. I really love the action scenes, and it also really helps that the action scenes take up a lot of time of this of the airtime of this anime of each episode. So what was I saying? So the action scenes is definitely the action scenes is really a plus. I really love it. I think most people will can appreciate some of the details. And then the next thing I want to talk about is that how the dialogues are written in this anime, and this anime has this cynical view on stuff that it is not fluffy. It is not like when the main characters are five five female characters. If you just describe this anime to other people, what if I say that this is an anime about five girls flying airplanes and then have an adventure together? It will sound like something that you will roll your eyes, right? I've seen this in comments in the anime in some sites, and they say they read the description and they immediately jump to conclusion and saying cute girls flying some stuff, riding mechas and stuff, something like that, and they just didn't bother to watch it. But it is not. This anime has a cynical view on things. It had basically the background story of the setting is actually pretty dark. It is like Wild West, The five female characters are mercenaries, and they fly planes to. If they are hired, they will fight. Usually, they will fight air pirates and or protect people. They are the good guys, but they are still mercenaries. This explicitly says that they will go to the biggest money that will pay them. And I think this is one of those that details that flashes out the characters and the anime setting without being too obvious. Unlike most anime nowadays that is very clear on things and try to do exposition on many things and try to make everyone love the main cast. But In this anime, the main characters are, even though they are clearly good people and they don't want really want to do bad things, but they still live in this harsh world where people kill each other, and they do kill people if they have to, and it's their job, and they don't really show any kind of like, oh no, I kill people. No, they don't go angst like that. They are, you can say that their morality is pretty questionable, but their morality is in lieu with the how the anime portray the world setting. It is a place full of wasteland. People are trying to survive, and people are trying to people are trying to survive by robbing each other, and people require the help of this mercenary. The dialogues are written really nicely. They are usually very sharp, very quick, and very on the nose. The characters are presented by how they talk to each other, and it is not it is not shown in a very cliche way. Even though the characters itself are very tropey, the characters themselves are very tropey, but the dialogues do well at developing them. And so far, I really like the characters. So, in conclusion, there is only 4 episodes so far, and I really enjoyed all 4 episodes of them. I find the pacing is really good from the start. It usually start with a good dialogue, good progression of story. The plot unravels, and then they go into their fighters, and then the fight and then action scenes happen, and then things clear up. It usually goes into that pattern, but each episode managed to make me sit and focus and listen to their dialogues, listen to the what happens, and I really enjoyed the action scene. It's really intense. It's it really appeals to a fan of aviation technology like me. So in conclusion, I think this is good. I think everyone should try it. And I really don't want to say this, but I think maybe cut the visual department some slack. I know that it will look very weird, but try to focus on the everything else, the world setting, the dialogues and the actions and the pacing. Anyways, thanks for listening.